Richard, we're waiting for Ian to come, so we're going to start the meeting and then we're going to wait 5 or 10 minutes until Ian gets here, if that's okay with yourself.
Yeah, well, good to get started if we've got a quorum.
Okay, we'll pause until Ian comes. Thanks everybody, welcome to this meeting of the Annan Common Good Subcommittee. Just to remind all the members to refer to members by the councillor's official title, so that folk know that it's a councillor or a community councillor. I think we're all very comfortable with the good practice guidance, so with that we'll move on to agenda point 1, which is Cedrin apologies, and also I'll approve the members' remote participation. Do you have any apologies?
Thanks. Thanks, Chair. In the room tonight we have yourself, we have our reps Alan Kay and Alan Weald, and on the team site we have Councillor Richard Brodie and Councillor Ian Carruthers and Councillor Marshall not present at the start of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Has any member, wait a minute, Ian Carruthers, can I?
Thanks so much, Chair. Apologies. I was a wee bit late there, and should have been physically present. I went to go, I was blocked in with a tractor with no keys, or I would have been there. But see, I can't see MD. Should I be able to see MD? All I've got is an SB, Stephen Baxter. I can't see MD in the room or anything like that, unless it's my side. Just for clarity, I've got no declarations of interest.
Thank you. Plug my earphones in. Richard?
Yeah, a statement of correction, item 4 and 5. I'm a member of that and his town group. So it's a statement of correction.
Thanks, Richard.
I intend to stay in the debate. Thank you. I can see you now as well, so that's good.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. Meeting of the minutes of 19th February 2025. Has anybody got any issues with the minutes? So we take it that the minutes are read and they're fine. Have you got anything? Okay, we're happy with them. Item number 4, Annan Common Good Fund Assets Report, a report by the Head of Thriving Communities. The report's in front of you folks. Jamie's here. I've had a chat with Jamie just beforehand there. Is anybody that got anything to raise that's relevant to this agenda point? Jamie.
Thank you, Chair. I would just like to highlight there has been a slight mistake on recommendation 2.2. It should read between paragraphs 4.6 and 4.7. Thank you.
I didn't see you. Ian Carruthers, Councillor Carruthers. Yeah, they've got the floor.
Thanks very much, Chairman. Just as a question, so I'm comfortable with the report. I just wondered, I'll tell you, so seeing as far as, because it's an asset, whether it's now or any other business or any other corporate business, I just wondered if now was an appropriate place to pick it up. We'd historically asked for a piece of work to have been looked at in regards to that winning rig. Jamie, you can remember this. So that a bit of fencing work, the fence was collapsing and such like. And you've really got two parts to that asset. You've got the building itself with the fishermen use, and that's still being used, is my understanding. But you've got a bit of almost like feral ground outside. And I was approached by the local farmer there, just wondering if he could have rented that. And I thought, well, I'll put it to the committee tonight just to see what our thoughts are. It would be an income generation for the committee. So I just wasn't sure if this was the right place to bring it up, Chair, or bring it up under any other business. So I just thought I'd raise that now. Thank you.
I'll pass it over to you, Jamie.
Sorry. I do recall there was a request for us to look at fencing that area off. So the area is approximately 0.625 hectares. There is currently a fence on 3 sides of that at the moment. So looking at potentially that as a grazing land, the council do have a standardised grazing lease or let that we could implement for that area. What we would like to highlight is that grazing let, if we wish to go down that, it can only be 364 days of the year. We can't obviously be for a full year because that would give agricultural tenancy rights over that piece of ground. But I can certainly look at that further and report back to members at a future meeting if that's something you would like to pursue.
Ian?
That's first class, Chair. Thanks for that, Jamie. If we can get a report, hopefully to the next committee or something like that, like say a future committee, but ideally the next one if possible, if that's appropriate, Chair. That's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Jamie raised that with me earlier on, and I think she's got a good handle on it, so Jamie will bring that back. Richard? Councillor Brodie?
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Jimison. Yeah, so, on that one, which wasn't the thing I put behind it, but on that one, I think we did get a report from the property services identifying that land and being a possible potential income from it. So good to get a report back to the next meeting. I was going to raise about the meeting at the Everhome. We had a meeting with the Everhome with the Annan History Town Group about a month or so ago. Councillor Marshall was there, and also Alan Weald, Community Councillor Alan Weald was there as well. And I think the upshot was that both the councillors there and the chairman of the Community Council were happy that after assurances that this was the best site available for the size of sculpture that was there. So I hope the council can agree to that.
Yeah, I think that's in the papers as it is. I'll pass on to Jamie though, just for further clarification.
Thank you, Chair. Just to give a further update on that, there is a meeting that will take place Friday of this week with regards to the History Town Development Officer and our assets team. They are now going to look, because as members may be aware that the group were successful in receiving coastal communities funding that would allow them to put the base of the sculpture into that area. The meeting that will take place with assets will discuss the removal of the existing play park and some archaeological concerns that we have, because they need to make sure that we have our archaeologists present on the removal of that, just because of the depth that they need to go. But again, I can provide a further update on that meeting at our next Annan Common Good meeting.
Richard, are you content with that?
Yeah, very content with that.
Thank you. Thanks, Jamie. If there's no other issues I want to raise, anybody got any last minute wishes? No. Okay, the recommendations. Member asked to note the register of common good assets and their current stated asset value as outlined in the appendix. Note the update with the security gate at the John Bell playing fields as detailed in paragraph 4.4, 4.5. And a further report will be brought back to the subcommittee following the trial period of 6 months. Note the update on the Everhome Old Play Park as detailed in paragraph 4.8. Is everybody content to note all three? Sorry, Ian?
That.
I just, it was 2 points. Maybe Richard's got to come in just in the back of Councillor Brodie asking that. I just wondered if we could edit in the recommendation to receive a report in regards to potential income from the winning rig by the way of grazing. And I just wanted to see if this is it is a predominant note report, I noticed that, but if we look to agree that particular point that Councillor Brody brought up there in regards to we would get behind that. I just, if we are doing that at this committee, I just want to do that.
That sounds okay to me. I'll just pass you on to Jamie though.
I think so. Councillor Carruthers, was that a report with regards to the sculpture and Winnie Rig?
So I think it's maybe two separate items. So what I was thinking was that I think the winning rig side, I think I would like to see that in the recommendations if possible, so to receive a further report. But I think as a separate item, I wasn't sure if Richard was going to come in there, but just on the fact that if we're agreeing to that being a location that we accept, should we have that explicit within the report? Is that something that'll follow on in due course? I wasn't sure.
I think from an operational point of view, there's still a lot of issues that need to be addressed with regards to the ongoing maintenance should that sculpture be put down there. So I think there's further discussions and a fuller report on that with the recommendations will be presented to this Common Good Committee. Obviously members are aware that it can't be part of a common good asset. However, moving forward, should the sculpture be placed on there, who is responsible for that ongoing future repairs and maintenance or checking of that? So the implementation of getting a legal or a lease to that area for the history town as well. So I think there's a little bit more work to do before you could fully have the full understanding of and be able to make a decision of that actually being implemented and placed on there. Is that okay?
Okay, but that's perfect. Thanks very much for that. I just wasn't sure if we were making that decision, but again, so apologies. I didn't get to that meeting. I was caught up with other things. So, no, that makes complete sense to me, Chairman. If that's the case, I understand what Richard's saying. We agree to the principle of it, which haven't got any qualms with at all. But ultimately, we'll receive a report so we can make that decision fully. If we could have added that other recommendation, the Chair, in regards to winning rig and getting that potential revenue from that would be excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, we're quite happy to do that. It's a point well raised, and Jamie will have that in hand. We'll add that to the recommendations, and apart from that, are we all content to note all three recommendations now? Thank you. We'll move on now to item 5. This is the Annan Common Good Fund Monitoring Report by the Head of Thriving Communities. This report provides members with an overview of the performance of the financial period ending 31st December, so that's Q3. Jamie's here to answer any questions, so if anybody's got any issues, please raise them and we can discuss them further. I'll just add something.
Thank you, Chair. Just to highlight that obviously this is Q3, so and this is due to just the time of when the report needed to be completed and written. The financial information, the most up-to-date financial information wasn't available, but it was just to give assurances that actually we have actually added to the cash balance on a year-on-year through underspends of the allocation of grants over the years, and there is shown that 4,451 as free income. So potentially when we move on to the next report for financial assistance, it's just to assure that we will have that correct enough income available to support the projects that are presented later on.
Thanks, Jamie. Jamie and I had a good discussion about that, and everything seems to be in order, but we're happy for anybody to scrutinise further. If we're all content with Jamie's explanations, we can just move straight on to the recommendations. Recommendations. Members are asked to note the 24-25 monitoring report for the period 31st December 2024, included in the appendix, and the projected free income of £4,451.17 as outlined in paragraph 3.2. Are we all content to note these 2 points? Thank you. Moving on to item 6, this is Annan Common Good Fund, applications for financial assistance, again report by Head of Thriving Communities. Members are asked to consider the applications for financial assistance from the Annan Common Good Subcommittee. Jamie will take any questions, and she may want to preclude any questions.
No, happy to take the report as read.
Okay. So all the information is in the papers. Are members content with the recommendations? Ian?
Thank you, Chair. No, I'm happy with them and happy to support the both applications as well at the same time. If that's okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Councillor Crothers. If everybody's heard us content with these, we can just move on and accept the recommendations. Members are asked to note the fee of £4,451.17, note the agreed grant criteria for funding, and consider the recommendations and agree to make an award to the application financial assistance as detailed in paragraph 4.3, Appendix 2. If we're all happy with that, we can note these recommendations.
Noted. Thank you.
So we'll move on to item 7, which is any other business deemed urgent by the Chair. I've had no prior notification, but I'm quite content to take any other business if anybody's got anything.
It's up to you online. Apologies. Chair, we've received a letter, basically, from Annan Caravan Park asking for various items to be dealt with. One is they're saying there are more motorhomes now than there are caravans, and they're looking for an introduction of hard standing because of that fact. They're also asking the rewiring of the toilet block. It's leased for more than 20 years and no evidence of it being rewired in that time. The third thing is they're complaining about the drainage. So the site needs drainage. They had to buy a Land Rover to pull people out of or get with their caravan to get them out of the site. And the fence at the front, they're saying, needs replaced. It would improve the appearance as it's falling down. Now, these are various items that they've actually mentioned to us, and they're asking the Common Good to consider.
Yep, thanks for that, Alan. Councillor Crothers on the same point?
It is, Chair. No, thanks very much. So we have discussed this historically in regards to any potential improvement works that are required at the caravan park. But I think going back to the previous conversations we've had, I wonder if it's worth asking Jamie to set up a meeting with the members of the committee and the caravan tenants. The better way of putting them at the moment, just to have a conversation round about what we spoke about last time, because what's been said there, I understand they ask, and they went to Community Council because Community Council are clearly members of Annan Common Good, but I think we need to get a fuller understanding of what really is being asked for here and what potential impact that might have on any future tenancy. Chair, if that's possible. So I really, it is a request for us all to sit to the table if we possibly can and get Jamie to organise that, please.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Jamie gave me some of the background in this. She's obviously been quite involved with it. I'll ask for her guidance and advice on this because it seems to be fairly complex. And it may be that the councillors need to have a wee chat with Jamie before we meet with the applicants that are asking for support. But I'll hand over to Jamie and she can give us some sage advice and then we can take it from there.
Thank you, Chair. Happy to set up that meeting with the caravan, with John and Margaret, and get that arranged. My advice to them would be, and has been previously, that if they come with a list and a proposal of an approximate cost that we could then prepare a report, and that can come back for a further discussion for this committee to decide. But happy to have that, arrange that meeting in the first instance, and then we can chat, and then we can produce the report so members can discuss it at this forum.
That sounds reasonable to me. Ian, are you content with that?
That's really good. No, really good suggestion. Thanks so much for that. I wonder if we could actually, under any other business, and we'll actually mark that as an extra item, and we've considered that, Chair, if that's possible. And the 2 points, so the 2 points of that decision that have been made, one is to have a meeting with the members of the committee and the tenants themselves, and post that meeting we'll have a report back to a future meeting outlining the potential options for us, how we can take that forward. Thank you, Chair.
Just for clarification, I maybe confused the issue there. Is it worthwhile, do you think, having a meeting with the members and Jamie in advance of having a meeting with everybody, or do we go straight to meet with members with the participants?
So Chair, not historically what we've normally done. If we're having a meeting like that, which we have done on a number of occasions with different people, even think of the John Bell playing field, and that we even invited them along to the committee. But I think in this would be inappropriate, as been suggested. But I think even if it's a half hour before we actually meet with, that we get a chance to have that conversation. But it could almost be built into the actual meeting itself, like a mini pre-meet just before we go into the actual full meeting with the tenants themselves. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. That sounds sensible. Again, I'll refer to Jamie just to get her opinion on this.
No, happy to go with Councillor Brothers.
Okay, thanks for raising that, and thanks, Ian, for supporting it, and also thanks to Jamie for raising it with me beforehand, because I was clueless until about half an hour ago, but I'm much wiser now. So I think that's a reasonable recommendation that we'll take forward. If there's no other business, happy to close the meeting, and thanks everybody for attending, and thanks to our two wise colleagues here. Thank you. I'll shut the meeting down now. Cheers, Richard.
Yeah, we need three wise men as well, though.
No. Self-praise is no praise. Right, thank you. Bye just now.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.